Good afternoon on this lovely Tuesday of November the 9th, 2021. This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. So today's topic will be dealing with the subject about Black Solidarity Day. And its founder, Carlo E. Russell. So the whole purpose of Black Solidarity Day is for Blacks of the African diaspora here in America and the Caribbeans to unify together and bring solidarity amongst themselves. Also, in conjunction with those from the continent too. And this day was very important. So it was something that was brought about on November 3rd of 1969 by Dr. Russell, who happened to be from Panama. He's Panamanian. Yeah, he's Afro-Panamanian. He's from Panama. And he figured that this day will be a representation to show that Black people, regardless of what demographic we come from, can organize and unify together. So what I want to do is I want to share some sources. So I want to share some sources, and I want to talk about Dr. Carlo E. Russell for a moment. As a matter of fact, and what you see is a picture of Dr. Carlos. That's Dr. Carlo E. Russell. Now, unfortunately, he passed away in 2018, but that's an image of him. So let's get a quick biography of him. All right. So right here, this article can be found on AAIHS.org, which stands for African American Intellectual History Studies. All right. And as you can see, it says Black Perspective. Dr. Carlo E. Russell and the Origins of Black Solidarity Day by Keisha Coronadi. And it was written on September the 14th of 2021. All right, so here you can see there's a protest that says federal voting rights protection now. All right, so let's go into its origin. So it goes on to say, New York City's first Black Solidarity Day took place on November 3rd, 1969, a day before Election Day. Dr. Carlo E. Russell, an Afro-Panamanian activist, artist, and scholar, pitched the idea of a Black Solidarity Day to fellow activists in New York City. As part of Black Solidarity Day, Russell and his eventual collaborators called on Black people to boycott an economy and society that caused them physical and psychic harm. Thousands participated in the inaugural Black Solidarity Day, and many more would participate in the ensuing decades. To this day, Black Solidarity Day is observed in New York City, yet most do not know that such a day exists. Looking at this day in November through a focus on its originator and his skills as a bridge builder expands not only our understanding of the Black History Council, but also the rich history of Black freedom dreamers who viewed the end of the civil rights era as an urgent moment to articulate new Black liberation agendas. Then it goes on to say, to fully understand the life histories that shaped Russell's activism beginning in Panama is essential. Russell was born on August 6th of 1934 in Panama City, Panama, to Anna L. Cord- Cordenton Russell, and Alberto H. Russell. According to the 1940 U.S. Census, for at least part of his childhood, Russell, his mother, grandfather, and grandmother, and sister, and aunt, and a cousin reside in the U.S.-controlled Canal Zone in the town of La Boca. Russell's maternal grandparents were born in Barbados and Jamaica, forming part of the close to 200,000 migrants from the British and French-controlled Caribbean who made their way to Panama by the first decade of the 20th century. Due to the Jim Crow policies in this neo-colonial space, La Boca was a mostly all-black town. It was also one of the most dynamic within the zone, hence why many chose to remain, even given the segregation therein. Russell also thrived in the city of Panama. Here he was surrounded by a rich Afro-Caribbean history that imbued day-to-day life, language, art, food, and commerce. Jim Crow discrimination did not exist in this space, but unofficial discrimination and social discrimination prevailed. All right. So here it is. Russell was the first in his family to pursue a college degree and reside in the United States. He, like so many other people throughout the Caribbean and Central America, had learned about U.S. culture and politics since infancy. There was one feature of the United States that even Russell could not have prepared for. He was in Chicago following the aftermath of the lynching of Emmett Till and public funeral that followed. Hearing about another Black life lost to white violence was unfortunately not unique. Anti-Black violence was a reality in all of the Americas at this time. Yet the brutality of Emmett Till's murder and the visibility of his body after death demanded a new kind of witness, as argued by literary and visual studies scholar Jacqueline Goldsby. Mamie Bradley's decision to have a public funeral and to have pictures of her son's open casket published in the Black press was intentional. She wanted everyone to see the violence that was done to her son, the violence that had become so commonplace for Black children, men, women throughout the United States. Russell was among those who, decades later, could point to Emmett Till's murder and his funeral as an ultimate moment of consciousness raising. All right, so it was the incident that happened with Emmett Till that really brought him to his state of conscience, saying that, okay, there's something that we have to do as Black people collectively. We have to remind ourselves who we going against and the people that we are dealing with. So this was the time where in the South, it was Jim Crow. And if anybody know about the story of Emmett Till, he was a little boy that came from Chicago, went to Mississippi to visit an uncle, a relative, and because he whistled at a white woman, there was two white guys that entered into his uncle's home and got him and beat him to death and threw him in the lake. So with that story, it brought about national attention worldwide. It brought a lot of attention. It was on media. It was on magazines. It brought so many attention to a lot of people about the racism and the ongoing violence amongst Black and whites and how that has impacted us throughout our entire history. So his mother wanted to give the wake-up call. That's her whole purpose. After his time in Chicago, Russell, like thousands of other Black Panamanians who came before him, made his way to Brooklyn, New York. It was in Brooklyn that Russell flourished as an activist, a public intellectual, and an outspoken defender of Black life. Brooklyn in the early 1960s was not unlike La Boca, Panama City, and Chicago. Here too, Black people were claiming a space for their own, doing so amidst official and unofficial discrimination. Brooklyn, like La Boca and Panama City, also had Black people not only born and raised in these spaces, but tens of thousands who migrated from or had roots in the Caribbean and Central America. All had unique and at times connected vision on what this space could become. Russell, for his part, connected his interest in the arts and in Black-centered community activism by forming part of the Brooklyn branch of the Harlem Writers Guild and writing for the Black-owned and Brooklyn-based independent newspaper. He also worked for and held leadership position in the anti-poverty programs like Bedford Stuyvesant Youth in Action Program and the Fort Greene Community Progress Center. As Russell explained during New York City's first Black Solidarity Day, he and his collaborators intend to make November 3rd a Black Monday, a demonstration of Black solidarity, a general protest against the intensified repression that threatens the very existence of Black people in America. He also denounced how the trope of law and order was routinely invoked to justify this repression. As inspiration for the day, Russell pointed to the work of Mahatma Gandhi, particularly his practice of hartal, whereby in opposition to the British rule, thousands stayed home from factories and public spaces, as well as They Are Absent, a satirical play by Douglas Turner Ward, premised on Black people boycotting a fictional southern U.S. town. Russell's collaborator for Black Solidarity Day included emergent and notable leaders within the New York City Black activist scene. Among them were Jamaican-born Lincoln Lynch, a veteran of the British Royal Air Force, leader of the Long Island chapter of CORE, which stands for Congress on Racial Equality, and creator of the Alliance of Minority Group Leaders, Lillian Davis Roberts, a labor union organizer and director of hospital field operation for District Council 37, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, where she earned the wrath of the anti-union administration of Governor Nelson Rockefeller, Lloyd Johnson, a social worker and the associate director of Columbia University Urban Center, and Reverend Eugene Callender, a Harlem-based Presbyterian minister who, in addition to his ministerial work, created street academies for poor and at-risk young people and served as deputy administrator of the New York City Housing and Development Administration. Then goes on to say, Russell and the Black Solidarity Day Committee called on unions, everyday citizens, politicians, and artists to join in the work of demanding a more just city and nation for Black people. They lambasted welfare cuts that disproportionately affected Black families, the continued discrimination faced by Black people seeking union jobs, and the senseless death of too many young Black men deployed to Vietnam. Thousands participated in the first ever Black Solidarity Day by boycotting work or school, refusing to shop in stores, wearing red, black, or green armbands, and attending planned Black Solidarity Day activities. Black students, teachers, and professors emerged as the day's most adamant supporters. Speaking on the 2-year anniversary of Black Solidarity Day, Russell reflected on the goals of this day of action. A city closed by Black folks would be an indication of the determination of Black people to use any means necessary to acquire liberation. What Black liberation signifies in the context of the late 1960s and up to our present moment engenders a number of answers. Ending state's violence against Black people, upholding the rights of the most vulnerable within Black communities, the fight for a living wage, prison abolitionism, creating alternatives to capitalism, promoting intersectional activism, and addressing the violence faced by Black migrants seeking asylum are but some of the possibility encompassed within Black liberation. At a moment when Black Lives Matter has become a slogan used by activists and commercial interests alike, thinking about the complexities of Black liberation is perhaps more salient than ever. Understanding what activists bring to the table is equally pressing. Carlos Russell's commitment to activism was not a given. He could have joined fellow migrants who inculcated by white supremacist practice in their places of birth and in the United States sought to distance themselves from African American. Instead, he forged connection with a diverse group of Black people who called New York City home. This building was vital to the possibility and continuation of a Black Solidarity Day. All right. And so again, you can check this out under Black Perspective, AAIHS.org, which is African American Intellectual History Studies. Okay. So as a matter of fact, it's African American Intellectual History Society. So when you go on this website, you'll find a lot more information regarding to African American history, as far as political history, social activism, etc., educational history, anything that you're looking for, you can go on this website. All right. Okay, and peace, everybody. What's up, everybody? What's up, Julanda? How you doing, sister? What's up, Chauncey? How you doing? Thank y'all for coming through. All right, so that's all I have for today on this video on this subject. So yes, you want to know why Black solidarity is very important, because this is a time that we all have to organize together, regardless of what demographic we come from. All right. So there shouldn't be any false dichotomies taking place when we all dealing with the same issue and with the same people. Okay. This is where we should all be able to learn how to network and build some type of infrastructure for ourselves. But not everybody's going to be on the same page. But for those that are, they're going to find a way and they're going to make it possible. All right. So shout out to this elder, okay, who is now an ancestor, because he passed away in 2018. But shout out to him and for creating this day. So this day is observed on a first Monday of November. So Black Solidarity Day is observed on the first Monday of November. So it already passed. Okay. But again, it doesn't gain a lot of national attention. So it's primary celebrated in New York, because that's where it started. But again, a lot of people don't know anything about this holiday in particular. But yeah, it's been around for a long time. It's been around since 1969. But that's all I have on the information about Black history. So with that being said, this is your girl Tiffany, and I'm going to go ahead and log off. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure you share my contents on here. Check out my other videos. And if you're interested in being on this platform, then you can go ahead and reach out to me on my Facebook, what is called now Meta/Facebook. You can reach out to me. Just type in my name, Tiffany French, and reach out to me on my inbox and let me know if you want me on your platform or if you want to come on my platform, and we can go from there. All right. But other than that, y'all have a good one, and I will talk to you guys later. All right. Take it easy. Peace.